Welcome to the party. I'm Sam Ekstrom of Locked On Sports Minnesota. Russell Wilson to the Vikings? Not as crazy as you think.
I'm Luke Braun of Locked On Vikings. Yes, it is.
Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman. If you see a Reef at the State Fair this year, buy him one of those giant turkey legs. It's his favorite. Loves them.
Okay, that's very wrong. I'm in New York City. I'm a Reef with the Wide Left Substack. And based off of the pre-show conversations, it sounds like Luke Braun wants to make Lewisine eat vegetables?
Locked On Sports Minnesota Podcasts. It's endless Minnesota Vikings talk with the diverse voices of your local experts. It's time for the Minnesota Football Party. It's your guys hanging out talking next-level Vikings football. So join in with Arif Hassan, Locked On Vikings Luke Braun, Superior Sports Talk's Luke Inman, and Vikings insider Sam Ekstrom, plus the biggest names in Minnesota football for the Minnesota Football Party. And it starts now.
What's up? Welcome in on a Thursday. It's the Minnesota Football Party on Locked On Sports Minnesota. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making us your first listen on this Thursday. For your second listen, make it Locked On Vikings with Luke Braun. Great daily Vikings content. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can find the audio of this show on the Locked On Vikings podcast feed. You met the group. They will be discussing today topics that I have contrived, and that I will force them to say something positive about a Russell Wilson to the Minnesota Vikings trade, which Mike Tannenbaum discussed, and I will try to coerce them into believing this is a good move. We've also got Vikings bubble guys heading into the third preseason game, and we'll get back into Tua versus Flores, which arose on Monday. We dabbled in that on Monday. We'll dive into it a little more today. Ron Johnson also joins, and we have preseason fantasy waivers for our final week of preseason fantasy football. Today's show is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Before we wade into the dangerous waters of Russell Wilson, let's talk Vikings bubble guys. I want to go position by position, and I want to identify who's on the bubble. So someone who might be on right now but could play their way off, someone who's off right now but could play their way on. Omit anyone who's just done, who's not going to make it under any circumstances. So position by position, bubble guys. Shout them out. We'll start at the top with quarterback. Who's on the bubble?
It's just Jaren Hall, right? It's just a question of is QB2 versus QB3, like how many
they keep in. Yeah, they keep in two.
Do they keep a QB3 or not on the roster, or is he going to get bumped to the practice squad and get exposed to waivers?
Feels like more and more teams around the NFL are only keeping two. But I guess we'll see.
It depends on how people value like the emergency third QB rules and like how you can like dress somebody from the practice squad on game day or whatever, or it depends on who else gets cut.
I'm leaning that he's off right now. Leaning that way, not 100% convinced.
Yeah,
I just think you could find a third QB equivalent or better elsewhere.
Yeah, and as we go through position by position, there are some really tough positions here to kind of sift through, and I feel like they might want that extra last spot here. But let's go position by position and find out.
Let's keep going. Running back. I'm saying only Gaskin, and McBride is not even a factor. That's my.
I don't even know if Gaskin's on the bubble. That's tough. Like I just feel like it's Jones, Chandler, and Wongwu, and that's it.
And CJ Ham, that's like your fourth.
Decided.
That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I guess in if we need to pick a bubble guy, it's probably Gaskin, and I think in broader terms, he's a bubble guy. But I think the odds are looking pretty thin for him.
put it this way. I think if he is a bubble guy, he's like the 6th bubble guy, and you're not going to keep that many bubble guys.
Yeah, I think the bigger question is, do they try to put McBride on the practice squad again, or are they just done? Or they say, okay, 2 years, we got a big enough sample size. I think we're ready
I think they will. I mean, it's always better to have a guy who knows your like pass protection system on your practice squad. You pull him up in case there's an injury or something like that.
Okay. Wide receiver. I've got one.
You've got one?
I've got one. It's Trent Sherfield.
Got at least one. At least Sherfield.
Yeah, definitely. I would say Sherfield's a bubble guy. I wouldn't rule out, and I think these guys are more likely to make the roster than not, but I just think the flip side of a bubble guy would be like a Tristan Jackson or a Brandon Powell. Again, I think they're going to make the roster.
I think both those guys have made it.
Okay, so you think that the odds of them making it are both like over 70%?
Yes.
Who's pushing them? Who is pushing them? Like, unless they would only keep 4 receivers, who would knock them?
Well, I've seen teams keep 4 receivers before. Yeah. I mean, I think primarily the roster pressure is not going to come from the offensive side of the ball. I think that there's more intriguing options on the defensive side of the ball that's going to create roster pressure. So I wouldn't say like, Nick Muse is pushing them, right? But I do think that there is the possibility, not that both, but that one of them could not initially make the roster. Again, I think it's more likely than not that both of them make it. I just think that on the other side, if we define bubble as 65 to 35% or something like that to make the roster, they could be on that 65% edge. Other than that, I don't see it for Lucky, Jackson, Malik Knowles, Thayer Thomas. Probably not Deshaun Jones.
I don't see it for Deshaun. That's such an easy.
Deshaun Jones had one good play and one critical drop in the other game. That's not enough for an undrafted rookie.
Yeah,
it's a Sherfield.
So we feel good about them keeping 5, not 6. Would you guys
5, maybe 6, and if it's 6, it's Sherfield.
Yes. Okay. All on the same page there. Maybe a Thayer, Malik Knowles, or Jashaun Jones practice squad. Maybe 2 of those 3 guys.
I did a 53-man roster on Locked On Vikings today, and struggled pretty hard with Sherfield. I wasn't sure what to do with him.
What'd you end up doing? Did you keep 5 or 6? What'd you end up doing?
54th player. Didn't keep him.
How many offense did you have? Because I can pretty
24.
easily do 24 or even 23 if I drop Hall. I don't think offense is really bad.
That was the other. I was between Jaren Hall and Trent Sherfield, and I was literally like, I have no idea, and I just kind of guessed.
Is that 8 offensive linemen or 9 offensive linemen and 3 tight ends?
I did 8 offensive linemen.
And 4 tight ends?
And 4 tight ends.
Okay. Let's do tight ends.
Yeah. So, tight ends is hard. Because is Tanyan a bubble guy? Or what's the deal with this dude?
I have no clue what's going on with Tanyan.
We were debating whether the Vikings got the depth chart wrong because it's just way out of whack. They've got Harry as a 2, Munt as a 3, Knox is above Muse, and Tunyan's a 1, and it doesn't really make sense. Harry's
it's not reflective of what they've done.
It doesn't make sense unless you read it like Luke said, from left to right, and it's Hawkinson, Oliver, Munt, Muse, and then it circles back to maybe Tunyan the 5, Harry the 6, Knox the 7, something like that. That's the only way it makes sense in your head when you read this.
They entered it wrong, and they haven't fixed it for weeks.
Which rules, honestly.
I love that.
It's just a depth chart.
So Muse is the bubble guy then. We all agree.
Yeah, Muse.
Well, Hawkinson isn't on the roster yet, so it would make Tunyan the bubble guy. Yeah. Unless we're thinking it would make Muse the 3rd tight end, on cut down day.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's he's probably gonna make it just because of that.
And I think he's done well enough. I think he would make it. Tanyan is the bubble guy. I think N'Keal Harry. Sorry, buddy. Nope.
Hey, it was a good effort, man.
Good project. Yep, good project. Always a long shot from the get-go. Dumb question. Is there unlimited pup spots you get? Can you put as many guys on the pup as you want to start the year, or is there X amount available for each team?
You say it like you could just do it. You do need medical documentation.
Oh, of course. No, I'm curious. Obviously, Hawkinson's going on the pup, but pending how serious of an injury Robert Tunyan has, would they potentially put Hawk and Robert Tunyan on the pup?
I think you can only
rules-wise they could, but he is now practicing again.
He's back. He's back. Okay.
And they didn't pup Luke Braun's Najee Thompson, his beloved Najee Thompson. Probably back on an injury settlement and around next year, I would think. But they didn't even want to pup him.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of injury that is. If it truly is like a season ender, but if he does get healthy at like week 6, it's probably injury settlement, and then he goes somewhere that'll take him.
Yeah.
So just to round out this tight end, Hawkinson on the pup. So they start with 3, Oliver, Munt, Muse, or they start with 4 with Tunyon.
That's I think the decision. That's what makes Tunyon a bubble guy to me. I kept him because they've been excited about him when he did play, so I'm kind of like rolling with that. But I'm not very sure about it.
All right, offensive line. What do we got?
Offensive line. I think that literally every backup is a bubble guy.
Yeah.
Right?
I think Quessenberry makes it.
Quessenberry and Rouse make it because if you cut those guys, you either have 3 offensive tackles, which I don't think is tenable, or you're keeping like Spencer Rollins. No, he's not even playing. Who's even playing tackle now? Because they cut Jeremy Flax.
Rollins been playing guard.
Nestor. They cut Flax.
Right. Yeah, Doug Nestor. That's your other guy. Like, so I think those 4 are pretty clear.
Okay.
Yeah, so Quessenberry makes it. Rouse probably makes it just because of roster math. Yeah, I mean, I guess Risner is not a bubble guy, right?
Risner? Right? Putting the Riz on?
Risner? I don't care.
I agree. Jurgens and Feeney probably both bubble because they're battling.
Yes.
Yep. No, I feel good with that. Quessenberry, Rouse, Dalton Risner. Yeah, Feeney and Jurgens, maybe. Again, do they keep 8? Do they keep 9? I guess it depends. I just going back to tight end, I feel like if it was up to Sherfield or Tunyon, I would lean they keep Tunyon over Sherfield, but remains to be seen.
That's kind of the decision that I made when I did mine. But so Risner, what, just cooked? Pup? Like, what's up?
KOC didn't seem thrilled that he didn't get to play last week either. I don't know what's going on there. Do we know what's the nature of the injury?
I wonder if the little O-line shuffle they made was to fill out preseason snaps because they don't expect to have another guard center. That's definitely it. So I don't think he's going to play against the Eagles either. So guy with roster provisions in his contract doesn't play entire preseason. I'm not feeling great.
Not feeling great about that. No.
Yeesh.
Cool.
But then why would you play Ed Ingram then in a preseason game if you don't think you're going to have
enough bodies?
His key backup. They could have patched it together.
He did say that if Risner was there, they still would have played him.
Yeah.
So I think that's just more about them wanting to get him some reps.
Defensive side, I think it's tougher. I mean, I think you've got more bodies, more bubble guys on defense by a long shot than on offense. I mean, I think OLB, outside linebacker, I think Patrick Jones is like lightly on the bubble. I think, Ward, Murphy, and Richter, I would say are there too, probably trying to play their way on.
So how many edge did Flores keep last year? 4 or 5? He didn't keep
5,
6.
but one of them was Andre Carter.
5. Yeah.
But it doesn't count.
He kept 5.
Yeah. Well, it was like a stash we don't really want to use. And then he actually did get into games somehow, which is going to confuse me for the rest of my life.
I think we're all on like in an agreement. Andre Carter's getting cut, right?
Yeah, I think
probably been passed up. There are a lot of guys that are have had quiet preseasons because they play one drive a game, like Pat Jones and Theo Jackson, who kind of barely played, and Jaquilin Roy, who's barely played. That are they're probably not playing because they're really likely to make the roster. But then somebody like Taki Taimani comes in and has this great game, and we're going wait, what about?
Taimani had a great game, didn't he?
Yeah.
Goodness. Yeah.
So if they keep 5 outside linebackers / edge, Dallas Turner, Bernard, Ginkle, Pat Jones, Jihad Ward?
Just based
That's
off
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, just based off of how they're playing.
Yes.
These guys, Pat
and
Jones,
rotating these guys, playing time. Yeah.
But I mean, like Luke says, I mean, there's just a lot of interesting play along the defensive line, not just at edge, although I think also at edge, that kind of makes it a little bit interesting. But I think you definitely have probably Pat Jones just based off of that. But yeah, I mean, Jihad Ward has played well enough to be in the bubble conversation. Gabe Murphy, obviously. Bo Richter. I mean, even Owen Porter's played well, although I don't think he's in the bubble conversation. I think
Richter has earned his spot in the bubble conversation. I guess Gabe Murphy by default, but there's another guy who hasn't played. So what are you going to do with that?
I think if they keep 5, it's Pat Jones and Jihad Ward, practice squad, Murphy and Richter. You cut Porter and Andre Carter. But maybe we're looking at like edge separate and D-line separate. Maybe we got to look at the front 7 all together as this big group because it just depends on how many, defensive tackle here is, I think, just as tough of a conversation. Did they keep 5 last year?
Super messy. Yeah.
Super messy.
So here's an interesting thing. So Jerry Tillery has had no snaps in the preseason, right? 0, right?
Nothing.
I don't think he's a lock.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, like I think he could get cut without playing a snap in the preseason. That's a possibility, I think.
Yeah. They kept 5 last year at defensive tackle, I'm almost positive. So Phillips, Bullard, Jonah Williams, Levi
Probably
Drake,
Jonah Williams.
Jaquelin Roy, or James Lynch.
Yeah.
I think James Lynch is gone, though. He's been a catastrophe.
Okay.
Well,
I'd cut Lynch.
James Lynch.
And
he's been
I'd get on LDR.
So do we think that Levi Drake Rodriguez has played so well that he's above the 65% arbitrary threshold I said earlier in the episode for what we'd consider a bubble guy?
I do, but I don't know if I might be going a little hard on that.
Yeah, you're going pretty hard. But, I mean, it seems like the Vikings like him too.
Yeah, I think I'm on the bandwagon. I'll just jump on board. Yeah, I think he makes that.
Can you get a mic'd up segment and then get cut?
Right? Come on now.
I think
Does
so.
that ever happen?
Certainly you can. So Jaquelin Roy is a lock? Question mark.
He's another guy that's like been quiet, but that's kind of because he's in sweats by halftime.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna.
When he does play, it's not good.
Well, I don't think they're going to be able to keep
play in a whole
Tillery,
bunch of dirty work.
Levi Drake, and Jaquelin Roy, right? One of those 3, and I think we're all on board that they're keeping Levi Drake.
Yeah.
So maybe Tillery or Roy.
Rip to Jalen Redmond, by the way, who's obviously not going to make it, but has been playing well.
Rock solid. Yeah, maybe
love
maybe
a practice squad
Redmond
there.
practice squad. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So this is important. Is his first name Levi Drake, like a John David Booty situation, or is it Levi
that is
Drake middle name?
That is how it has been listed in the various resources that have discussed Levi Drake Rodriguez. That Levi Drake is his first name.
A 2-name first name. Got it. All right. LDR. I'm going LDR.
LDR is funny to me because
Makes him sound like a serial killer.
Oh, also that.
Or president.
But also, it stands for long distance relationships, and that's very funny to me.
Secondary. Actually, no, linebacker. I think Asamoah
This
is Bubble.
So
Bubble? Yeah, no, I think I don't think he's a lock. That's for sure.
this feels like this might be a guy gets cut for a waiver claim situation. Because both Asamoah and Kamu in coverage in that Browns game were, I'll go with the word liabilities. And I don't know if Dallas Gant has done enough to like Ivan Pace his way onto this onto this roster. So I kind of feel like there might we might be trolling waivers here.
As somebody who has a vested interest in Dallas Gant, being perceived as well as possible, both because he's my preseason fantasy pick on defense, and also because I think I had a take on him earlier that was positive, and so now I need to stick to it. I don't think he's done enough to like outright be the backup. Yeah, I think actually, waiver claim kind of, these guys get cut if someone interesting enough, appears on waivers. That's actually not a bad shout. I think Camus makes it just because of his history of special teams, but I think both.
Yeah, but Asamoah, I think, is in trouble.
Or bubble.
So you
guys.
think they could potentially just keep the 3?
Well, and then claim some waiver.
On
and then,
day one,
and then
initially.
Yeah, if we're just talking initially,
some people,
and
might
then you'll have
double
like a
take,
really weird amount of running backs or something like that. 7 D tackles or something.
Just some guy who's like, okay, I'm clearly not going to be here for long. I'm just going to absorb this extra day.
Bo Richter makes it because you don't want to expose him to waivers after having a flashy preseason, and then you cut him the next day.
Yeah.
All right, secondary. I think cornerback remains messy. Moreau bubble. And I'm putting Nashawn on the bubble now that Najee's gone. I think that Nashawn Wright could be your special teams floater.
I think there's a good possibility that like you just grab a special teams guy off of waivers. Like Like just thinking of like really good gunners around the NFL, like a Shedrick Jackson from Cincinnati, or something. Just like somebody off of waivers that's been a good gunner, and just hope that they can adapt to the rest of your special teams. I don't know that there's a special teams guy on the roster right now.
No, I think that's fair, especially after
that might be Trent Sherfield, actually.
Maybe
to go back to that.
Maybe,
Okay, that's a good point.
I was going to say
He's a good gunner.
Could be Sherfield. So cornerback. So Gilmore, Shaq, Murphy, Evans, McGlothern. 5.
I'm putting McGlothern on.
I'm putting
I think
McGlothern
he's-
on.
yeah.
I think he's done.
Levi
Yeah,
and
100%
McGlothern.
McGlothern.
I'm on the bandwagon with Levi and McGlothern.
Yeah.
The
Bubble.
Vikings grabbing like top 200 consensus board guys in undrafted free agency and then rostering at least one of them. This is a great habit
Yeah.
to
All
develop.
for it.
And the other one was hurt. It's not even his fault.
Yeah,
The
So
other
those
one
are the
being
5. So Bubble.
Murphy.
Gabe Murphy.
Murphy.
Gabe Murphy. So the Bubble. Duke probably out.
I think he's out.
Yeah,
Jalen
Duke is
Williams,
out. I
probably
have
out.
no interest in putting Nashawn Wright out there. He
I don't
played like
either.
4 snaps and they were not
Sorry,
good.
Sam. I'm out on Wright. I'm out on.
Well,
Jacoby
Najee's not
Francis.
playing snaps either. This is strictly special teams, but okay.
Yeah.
Najee's
So
not
like
playing
the group as I put it together was 6 deep with Gilmore, Murphy, Caleb Evans, Shaq Griffin, Dwight McGlothern, and then I put Fabian Moreau.
Okay.
Fabian.
I don't know who on this group knocks him off. What, like Jacoby Francis?
I don't think so.
Not Frank. It's not Green.
Sixth safety. I don't know.
Well, who's your fifth? Let's
Speaking of the 6th safety,
let's quickly do safety.
let's talk about what kind of roster bubble we got there.
So Harry, Bynum, Metellus, Theo, done. Bubble, Jay Ward and Scene. Bobby McCain out.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
McCain's out. New
Bumping
guy
McCain.
obviously out.
I'm bumping Ward too.
Bumping him out or
Yeah.
bumping him
Out
in?
entirely, not even on the bubble.
I think Jay Ward makes it.
I'll give him a bubble spot, but I think he's
Yeah.
out needing to play his way in.
Could
We
he
got,
be
we got a lot
practice
of
squad?
comments, incidentally, that we have not been addressing. Macho
out
Meach,
on
for
practice
example,
squad.
has collar opinions, which for once I've escaped his judgment on that.
Ron, you've drawn a comparison to the Octomom.
Sam, I wouldn't
Sorry,
draw
man.
attention to that particular comment if I were you. This is a family show.
All right.
Sam Darnold over 19 and a half touchdowns. I'm going to take that. 3,500 yards. I don't know about that.
It's only 19 and a half touchdowns? That's like lower than Bryce Young's.
Let's save the Darnold analysis for when we talk about Russell
sure,
Wilson
sure.
replacing him.
Okay,
in
so Jay Ward or
literal-
Lewis C? Are
literally
we
moments.
doing 5 safeties?
We're going
doing-
with 5, and those 2 are on the bubble. Let's call it that.
All right.
And
Scene over
read my
Ward.
Scene article. He wasn't actually good on.
Posted
on,
over at Wide
Saturday.
Left. Wide Left Football. Check it out.
Yep,
Plug.
he was actually bad on Saturday. Everybody's wrong.
Wow.
Yeah.
Teased everyone long enough. Russell Wilson talk when we return. Minnesota Football Party. Don't go anywhere. Show today is brought to you by Gametime. Also brought to you by FanDuel. I'm going to tell you about Gametime first. Gametime has a wonderful new feature. It's called Gametime Picks. Makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. It filters out the fluff, shows you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Gametime makes it easy. In their app, the curation makes it easier to save money on sports, also concerts, also comedy, also theater, plenty more. Make sure to toggle on the all-in pricing so there's no hidden fees. Use from your seat and the lowest price guarantee where they credit you 110% of the difference if you find better seats. And it's a great customer service policy at Gametime as well. Take the guesswork out of buying concert, sports, comedy tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Hey, Twins are back in town tomorrow. Check it out on Gametime. All right. Russell Wilson, speculated, rumored. I don't know what word you want to use. Mike Tannenbaum just tossing
I think he
grenades.
was just doing sports TV, man.
Tossing grenades on ESPN. Russell Wilson to the Vikings. The low-hanging fruit is that this stinks. This is a terrible speculative trade. It makes no sense. The Vikings invested all this time in Sam Darnold. They believe in Sam Darnold. Why would you do this? Can we just
I think
pause?
we're good, actually, Sam.
Yeah,
No,
we're good.
we're-
Next.
yeah.
Next.
Wait, okay. I
you're-
have one other side of that. Why would the Steelers trade Russell Wilson? Justin Fields is horrible.
But he is slightly better in that you can do something with him.
Can you?
I think
Oh, you can't?
Are you just saying
You
words?
can't run concepts with him. He
you
can't
just-
see.
Saying words?
That's not important if you are a read option team, which you cannot do with Russell Wilson.
Justin Fields can do things with his legs that Russell Wilson can't at this stage.
I just love the Steelers' philosophy of, hey, we have one bad quarterback. Let's go get another bad quarterback. See if that works.
Yeah, like this guy is like maybe shouldn't be QB2 on the Steelers. I'm pretty sure the Steelers need Russell Wilson to have any semblance of an offense that it looks like serious.
You know what's great is that the undrafted quarterback that they picked up, Jonas Plumlee, they've been playing at receiver. So they really just don't have guys.
It's dark in Pittsburgh. My goodness.
Yeah, so
They're trying to pull an Antoine Randall.
But no, I don't think we need to
20
replace
years
Nick
later.
Mullins for any reason.
Right.
So I'm not in on this Russell Wilson thing.
Okay,
Okay.
so here's a fun thing. So like I said, I'm in New York City. I drove out to meet a friend, but I did stop in New Jersey to take the under on the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is set at 7.5 because I think bettors are enamored with Mike Tomlin and his ability to generate wins. I think the magic has run out. This is a catastrophically poor offense, just awful. Okay, so as Broad was essentially saying with Justin Fields, it is also true of Russell Wilson. You can't create an offense, right? So Russell Wilson has always been a quarterback that has succeeded because of the persistence of his overwhelming traits and less because he can operate an offense with efficiency and timing. Well, those traits are gone. Right? Like he no longer, I mean, he kind of has the arm still, but he no longer has, the athleticism that allowed him to buy time in the pocket and scramble and stuff like that. His feel for pressure is still bad. There's no offense that you can run with Russell Wilson. And this is a point that Benjamin Solak, who I often disagree with because he's a child, he made this point on the Mina Kimes show featuring Lenny over at ESPN. It's his new venture. Check it out. But I think here, in this case, he does have a point in that there's not really an offense you can run or design. And, you've got somebody like a George Pickens, who in theory is the kind of receiver that works with Russell Wilson. But I don't think that, first of all, I think Pickens is overrated. But second, I just don't think that there is a way to craft this offense. And can you imagine trading for a guy who you can't build an offense around, and then after the preseason is over,
that's perfect. If you can't run an offense with him, you don't have time to put the offense together, and he doesn't need an offense because he doesn't run an offense. So that's perfect. You get him in.
That makes no sense.
Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford
it.
came in with a week. I know it's a different player. If you could
but,
copy
okay,
paste,
Sam,
You don't need an offense is such a funny
26
point.
touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Would you take that?
I don't know what
Wilson
you said because
stunk
I
last
can't.
year.
I don't know what you said because I don't speak nonsense. So when you bring someone in like a Sam Bradford, you know what offense he can run. You just call those plays. There's like, a 5-yard out on a one-step drop back? Yeah, 100%. We'll call 30 of them, right? That's what you do with Sam Bradford. With Russell Wilson, you're just like, yeah, I guess play action deep over. I mean, it's a Shanahan offense. We might as well do that. Oh, the timing's off? Oh, we're boned. Right? Like, there's you can't, just because you don't have time to install an offense doesn't mean it's good to get a guy who can't run an offense. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay, so I'll grant you that's a disadvantage, and I will say, so if you get Russell Wilson's worst, Nathaniel Hackett season, Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
So what, like Jaron Hall against the Packers?
You are willing to gamble that
17
Russell Wilson's worst is still worse than Sam Darnold's best, because Sam Darnold's best is about the same.
Yes.
Sam
it's
Darnold's
not.
best. Look at a season of Sam Darnold.
No. Look at the
Russell
last
Wilson.
2 years of Sam Darnold's play and project it out to 17 games. It's essentially
not
7
the
games
exercise.
worth of a sample.
That's not the exercise.
No, you said Sam Darnold's best. You didn't say pick a full season of Sam Darnold play, which is absurd because he hasn't had a full season in 3 years, Sam. In 3 years, you can't say that that's his best.
Okay,
would you rather
wait.
have
Wilson,
Geno Smith's
Russell
best
Wilson
and then you
with
take
a
his New
competent-
York Jets seasons?
Russell Wilson went from an incompetent head coach in Nathaniel Hackett. He got a
As opposed to
competent head
Adam
coach.
Gase, who was humming.
Right.
So 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions a year ago, and he was about a 500 quarterback. That was Russell
See,
Wilson.
I know you're lying because you picked the worst stat.
1 year ago.
Yeah.
1 year
Yeah,
ago.
touchdown interception. That's definitely
Yeah.
a way to convince the stat heads on your podcast, Sam.
Okay. Toss.
Okay, let me ask you this, Sam. Let me ask you a question, okay?
Yep.
If you just right now, their current iterations of themselves, if Russell Wilson had been with the Vikings from the get-go, let's say they traded for him, they didn't do J.J. McCarthy at all, and that was the QB competition. Can you tell me with a straight face that Sam Darnold wouldn't have won this competition with the camp and preseason that he had?
Russell versus Sam Darnold?
Right now.
Yeah.
These two guys. One has been clearly better
are you
than the
saying-
other, and
are
you're
you saying-
absolutely starting Darnold.
Are you saying Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh? Like I'm comparing those two? Is that
Do
what
what,
you're
you
at?
think he
Well,
would have
yeah,
had
yeah.
a magically been better here?
Right, yeah. Luke
I'm
is
not
basically
giving any
saying...
contest to Sam Darnold. He's Sam Darnold. He's a bottom of
Sam,
the league
Okay, Sam,
quarterback
here's
in
Sam.
so many
It's so
categories.
obvious what you're doing here. You're
you're-
making stuff up. For
You're Skip
podcast
Baylessing.
content.
You're Skip Baylessing.
Yeah,
Hank.
Yeah, it's because you didn't even have this Sam Darnold take a week ago, right? Like,
This has been my Sam Darnold take from the get-go. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I think the gamble is that you are surrounding him with a better staff and better skill players and trying to make it perfect and put him in a perfect cocoon where he can be average.
right? Okay. So here's the thing, Sam. I don't know that anybody on the podcast thinks that Sam Darnold is a good quarterback, right? But I think when you say create a positive cocoon, right? Craft, the perfect environment for him so you can muddle along. That's way better than anything you could do with Russell Wilson. They're trying, and it's not working.
Now, I would be miserable for the whole Russell Wilson experience because I don't love his personality, and I think
Right.
he'd be frustrating to watch him get sacked 8 times a game. I
Right.
still maintain that
No,
low,
you don't.
like end
I
of
don't believe
his career, Russell
I
Wilson.
don't believe that you're serious. I don't
Yeah.
believe that you're
Still-
seriously looking us in the eye and saying
this is
that
not
Russell
a take
Wilson
that
would
you
beat.
genuinely have, Sam.
This is
Yeah.
this trade is not happening. But in theory, I think Russell
Well, of course,
Wilson
it's not
could-
happening.
Right,
I
because
think
it's a
Russell
bad idea.
Wilson could come in, and there's a chance that he could be the latest, greatest Minnesota Vikings veteran quarterback acquisition that just sets the world on fire.
So
There
this
a
is the
chance
thing.
that
If you
happens.
need me to say something nice about it, it's that Vikings fans who are stuck in Wisconsin get a really cool jersey to buy.
Yeah, there you go. That's nice.
That's nice.
That's a thing. It is a thing.
Well,
He wouldn't
they prob-
start because there's a better quarterback on the roster right now.
They
But
probably have Russell Wilson Wisconsin jersey still on the shelves. I mean,
Right.
it'd be easy.
But now they can get their purple. So
Yeah.
they can go get really excited about a backup quarterback. We all love that.
Yeah.
Maybe a third string quarterback because I'm not sure he plays over Nick Mullins if Darnold goes down.
And KOC would hate it. KOC would not.
Right.
That, it goes against every value that KOC. That's why it would never happen.
And not because Russell Wilson's bad. I think that's a motivating
Yeah.
factor here.
O'Connell doesn't love bad quarterbacks. He kind of got forced into it last year.
So
I
how
don't
did
know if he'd walk into that on purpose.
So you guys and Ron, I'm waiting for Ron to pop up. He's here, but he's getting his camera figured out. So you guys hate the touchdowns and interception stats. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. So how did he luck into those numbers then? Like how did he accidentally stumble into a 26-8 season if you don't believe in the numbers? Like what happened
so
last
when
year?
you get
It's
blown
like
up by
insanely
70
conservative
points-
offense, right? Like you just
Right.
are really safe with the ball when everything's a bubble screen.
Right, and Sam Darnold's going to light it up. He's going to be throwing it all over the place.
Didn't he throw like a sweet post to Addison like every day in camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a direct translation of the season.
Also, when your defense gives up 70 points, you end up having like a fair degree of garbage time. That allows you to kind of rack up some meaningless nonsense stats.
I don't know. Pretty competitive team the back half of the year until they benched him because they didn't like him.
Oh, they benched him. Interesting.
They benched the what was it, the 26-8 quarterback? Is that the quarterback?
Maybe
they
he
benched?
would have thrown more interceptions if they let him keep playing. Maybe that's why.
Some
Yeah,
financial
that's crazy.
incentives attached there.
Man, Mike Tomlin won 10 games with Kenny Pickett though last year. Are we sure that's going under this year? Under 7.5?
Yeah,
10 games with
it's
Kenny
run
Pickett.
out, man.
It's like 5 minutes ago.
oh, wait, I'm on delay. Where are we at? What? Oh,
Luke's brain
Russell
just
Wilson?
like buffering like an old Xbox.
Hey, Inman, there's been a lot of yelling. I feel like
Oh,
you
Your
he's
feel
mom's
like
and
gonna
dad
get
are fighting and he
Oh.
shut
He's
down.
going to be
Bro.
so sad when he catches up. This is awful.
Inman hasn't planted his flag anywhere yet.
No,
He's
no,
kind of
no,
sitting
no.
back and
Hey.
letting the shrapnel settle before he jumps into this shark-infested pool. Do you want to take a side here, Luke?
Sam,
knowing
I would love to throw you a life vest, buddy, but I can't. If you're going to rock the boat and trade for a quarterback 2 weeks before the season starts, Sam, you should be pretty confident he's a significant upgrade from what you already got. I don't think there's a case here, Sam. 35-year-old, going to be 36-year-old in November, Russell Wilson is any better than Sam Darnold. I just
Okay,
can't see it.
one final question, Sam. How good do you think Justin Fields is?
I think Fields is high upside. I think that's the
how
reason
good
why
do
you would.
you think
Really
Justin
nice way.
Fields is?
I could see a team like Pittsburgh saying we're going to go with the younger, more mobile guy and try to squeeze something out of him because there have been flashes.
Are we sure he makes this team?
So you are not answering the question, which tells me that Justin Fields is not good in your.
You don't
eyes.
always make. Sometimes
So-
you make decisions based on things like age, athleticism.
hold on,
That's a
wait.
real.
It's
thing.
incredible. He
think
has two
that
different teams willfully
a
picking
Pittsburgh
worse
team-
quarterbacks than they have.
You think a Pittsburgh team that has never gone under 500 under their longest tenured head coach currently in the NFL, you think a team that has never gone under 500 will suddenly decide to prioritize upside over present day wins?
Yep, that's exact. Their
You don't
hubris
think
their hubris in believing that they can be 500 with any quarterback is why they would go with someone like Justin Fields. We're bringing in Ron Johnson.
And why they
next.
would
I
sign
can't
Russell
wait
Wilson.
to get Ron's thoughts on this.
On the Minnesota Football Party. Don't go anywhere. Whew, that got heated. FanDuel brings us today's show. It's America's #1 sports book. They've got a new deal for you now through September 22nd. FanDuel customers can bet $5, get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. With a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. So if you're not in Minnesota, you want to watch the Vikes, take advantage of this deal. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment. You can cancel anytime. FanDuel.com/lockedon. Download America's #1 sportsbook and make sure you can watch the Vikings, Russell Wilson in purple this year on YouTube TV and NFL Sunday Ticket. FanDuel, make every moment more. Ron Johnson joins now. I believe he is from the Great Minnesota Get-Together and the State Fair. Ron, are you in a position to talk?
Yeah, I can talk. I'm trying to figure out this ticket thing. I got absolutely screwed over.
Oh, no.
The online system.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I had to bring my kids down here. My wife had to work, and now their ticket system doesn't work, and I got behind the oldest person in the world. So
I'm sorry.
Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson?
maybe
Maybe
he
36.
might be up there.
All right. Well, if you have
Brutal.
to bounce, feel free. But I've enraged the panel here. I think, and it's not going to happen, but I think if Russell Wilson stepped in to a Minnesota Vikings jersey, I think there's a chance that he could be better than Sam Darnold. How crazy is that?
Very crazy. I don't know. I don't know what you smoked earlier today, but please pass it on because I need to calm down. No, Sam Darnold, to me, I think he has the athletic ability, the size that Kevin O'Connell was looking for. I think Russell Wilson, at this point in his career, is just an upgraded Jaron Hall. I mean, I'm going to be honest.
All right.
I think that's a good take.
I mean, now I'll just say, I will take it because then we get Sierra in Minnesota. So I'll take that.
There it is. That's the whole thing right there. It's all about Sierra.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
There you
Free
go.
concerts for halftime shows, probably. Like, I'll take it.
Has that been
See,
happening? Has she been throwing free concerts for the other teams that Russell Wilson's been on?
She always does like either a national anthem or she does like a halftime thing. I don't know if it's free, but I know she's done it. So
Ron, I just want to be entertained. I just want to enjoy the entertainment product of football. And watching Sam Darnold in December when the Vikings are 4-9, that is not my idea of entertainment. I'm sorry. I want to be stimulated somehow, whether it's Donovan McNabb flop or Brett Favre heroics. I would like that swing to be taken to entertain.
Have the last 2
me.
years of the Broncos been fun for you?
I bet it was entertaining for them, for better or
I
worse.
don't know if they would say that.
I don't think the Broncos would say that.
I don't know. Sunday Night Football, Broncos over Vikings. Who was the winning quarterback there?
Okay, that was a Josh Dobbs game. Okay, that was bound to be fun, but that was not about Wilson.
Yeah.
You guys, you can't knock me off this hill that I'm dying on because
but we can take.
We're trying to
shots while you're
save
on
you.
the hill. Yeah.
I don't
I
want
think
to
that
be
was more
saved.
of Mekhi Blackman didn't understand where the ball was coming from. I think that was
Right.
the other problem with that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a few. Lucanman, what do you got? I better stop talking because the chat is going to kill me.
Ron, we've gotten 2 weeks of preseason play now to watch and kind of digest. What's your thoughts on Caleb Williams thus far? Do you think he, has flashed and kind of living up to the hype of this generational quarterback the Vikes are going to have to face the next decade plus? What do you think about Caleb
I do.
Williams?
I think. I don't know about live up to the number 1 overall pick, but the conversations he's having, the stuff he's getting mic'd up for. The only thing I hope is that he's not overconfident, because overconfident you get humbled real fast. Thinking, I think who was it? Was it Justin Fields that said that before? Like, oh man, his games are so. I thought the NFL game was gonna be faster, and then he went out there and got absolutely murdered when it actually sped up. So I just hope Caleb Williams understands, hey, preseason, you're not getting what you're going to get in regular season. Because I saw the little conversation on Hard Knocks, him and his coach. And he's like, oh, I'm never nervous. I haven't been nervous since I was whatever. I'm like, shut up. Like, you're definitely nervous. You don't have to consider it nerves, but there's nerves. Like, it's human. And if you're not nervous, then I'd be worried that you're overconfident.
Yeah.
Ron, what do you got?
Ron, what would you do with Trent Sherfield? We kind of ended up on the roster bubble with him. We weren't really sure he's going to make it. Practice squad, special teams is a factor. What do you do with this guy? Assuming you got your big 5 that have really showed out.
Yeah, it's tough. You gotta figure out what's going on with special teams with him. Like, can he upseat and get like a Najee Thompson out of there? And can he help you on special teams? If not, honestly, cutting a guy is not the end of the world. They did sign him to a 2-year deal, so maybe he'd be willing to sit on the practice squad for a year and see what they have out of the other 4 guys. But yeah, I don't think he's your 5, so I don't really know what you do with him.
What are you looking forward to at the state fair? Like, what are foods that you're eyeing, or what's going on?
Corn curds, the huge. I'm gonna go over there and have some Tennessee hot chicken.
Hey.
Other than that, I'm just trying to get in because the systems are slow, the people are slow. The people taking the tickets might be literally, I get it, but there's got to be some high school kids that could have done some of this ticketing because it is the slowest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Wow. Opening day of the state fair.
Brutal.
Sounds like not a well-oiled machine at this point. Ron, I'm guessing you probably got to bounce and get that figured out, so we'll let you go and do that. Good luck in the initials game tomorrow, by the way. He's playing in the wild card, folks, trying to make the final round or the next round of the Power Trip initials. That's going to be big.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I got Tyler George in my group and Marnie Gellner. So, I think Tyler George is for sure tough. But I didn't have to deal with Charge. Charge can become a machine sometimes. So I'm glad I don't have Charge.
You dodged that side of the bracket. That was good. All right, good luck. We'll talk to you on the round table tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
All right. Ron Johnson making his Thursday appearance, State Fair.
Play the sound.
Please tell. Oh, I hope the trade happened. I hope it's Russell Wilson.
No trade. But you're going to love this.
Can you imagine?
You're going to love this. I actually kind of wish I heard it, but play the sound. The Vikings, per his agency, LAA Sports, have signed former Minnesota Gophers star Mo Ibrahim.
Hey!
Oh!
According to Jordan Schultz.
Let's go.
Yeah!
Let's go.
Big Mo.
He must have passed his physical then. That's so nice.
Did somebody? Was it the Lions who picked him up on the practice squad? UDFA?
I
Not
believe
practice squad,
that's
sorry, UDFA. Got
yeah,
it.
I believe he was a Lions UDFA.
And Sione Vakis kind of.
This is a giant moment for our waiver claims that we're literally doing right now. This is huge because this could
just in time, yeah.
Just in time, yeah. So preseason fantasy, We've had 2 thrilling weeks. These are the standings. The winner gets an advantage in our regular season betting. The loser gets a disadvantage chosen by the winner. So right now it's a battle between Arif and Inman for first. They are separated by basically 2. And a battle for not being last between Braun and I. We're separated by about 5. Waiver claim order. We get 1 waiver claim to swap a player in reverse order of standing, so I would be first. I am not going to jump on the Mo Ibrahim because I've got Gaskin. I think that's a good running back to have. I'm going to hold on to him. Now, the team has cut Ty James. So Ty James is an automatic 0. However, I don't love my options at wide receiver. It would have to be Justin Hall, I think. And I don't know, a 5'8" guy that just got in the building. I don't love that either. So I'm going to assume that Theo Jackson is a non-starter, doesn't play. So that's another 0. I'm going to dump Theo Jackson, who, again, I just picked up, and he got me nothing. So thanks a lot, Theo. Why don't you sit out a couple plays? How about the whole game? Sit out the whole game. That's what you did. And I need to find a defensive player who can do what Louis Cine did for me last week, which is get me 27.5 points. If I go down swinging with the Duke, I will sleep easy at night. Give me Duke Shelley.
A quarterback.
Give me Duke to rack up some tackles.
Couple pick sixes
To get a pick.
You need a major pick 6.
You need a pick 6.
You need a 2014 Derek Cox training camp performance.
Hey, corner blitz sack would give you 5 points.
Dude, that was good.
Right?
He had a pick like every day, and he got cut.
I loved it.
Just
where's Derek Cox? Just screaming down the sideline every other play.
5 tackles, maybe another forced fumble. He's already done that, and a pick. That's all I asked for. That's like 13 points right there.
Yeah, no big deal.
So Duke Shelley is my claim, and Luke Braun is next.
Or you need Will Riker to go 8 for 8 like he did in practice the other day.
There it is.
Ooh, that'd be tasty.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty happy. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy. I don't think I want to do it. Trent Sherfield's gonna play a lot. I think on the roster bubble, right? Jaysean Jones probably gonna play a lot in the second half. Maybe I could drop Nick Muse, but what would I pick up Tanyan? I don't even know if he's gonna play. He's been hurt, right?
Right. So you're good.
So I'm not gonna cut. Like I think they have to play Nick Muse a little bit just by a numbers game. I don't think they have the luxury of sitting him.
Yeah, it's so tough to confidently pick anybody and drop somebody because you just don't know exactly how much playing time these guys are going to get. So you're good. You think you're good.
And all of the guys on my team right now look like they're going to get at least some.
Should be getting some playing time for sure.
I think I'm going to run it back. I think I'm feeling good.
Okay, Luke Inman, you get the next choice.
Yeah, we got to dump Ty Chandler and give me the new guy, the new kid, the hometown hero. Give me Mo. Put Mo on my roster.
Yeah.
Maybe he gives me an A.J. Rose type of game. We'll see.
And
Better
I think
Ty Chandler getting me a goose egg before the game even starts. I know that.
I would say the only one really in danger for you of getting a 0 is Tristan, who remarkably might be a guy they sit out. I think the other 6 play for you.
I think numbers game wise, Tristan probably has to play a little too. I think he might play like the first quarter or something like that.
I mean, if Thayer's active, there's a lot to go around with Thayer and Knowles and Lucky. Yeah. Like they might play
receiver stuff. Yeah.
So
we only pick, right? We're only doing one pick.
One waiver claim.
Yeah.
This
so
is
Reeves
so tough.
Probably not going to get anything from Naylor, and I don't know about Wongwu.
Yeah. So what receivers are still available then?
Just the new kid, Justin Hall.
Just Hall.
Okay, so Thomas is accounted for. We see that. Malik Knowles is accounted for. He's mine.
Christian, Jaysean Jones.
Jones, Sherfield.
Powell.
Okay, yeah.
Powell. You could go Powell.
Yeah, it seems also unlikely.
Yeah.
I was thinking about screwing around with my defense a little bit because obviously Dwight McLaughlin is like a really good player who's going to get a lot of snaps, but I also think that like cornerbacks are a bad investment. So, and it's not like Bobby McCain is not going to get tackles maybe. So I don't know. I'll do this. I'll replace Jalen Naylor with Justin Hall. This sucks.
Yeah, that could be a 0. I think you're hoping for 2 catches for 20 yards, 4 points. That would be your upside.
That could be the difference. Hey, we're neck and neck. That could be the difference.
This is close.
Mo Ibrahim, though, at the 11th hour getting signed. That's gigantic.
It's huge.
This Russell Wilson thing is going to follow me around forever, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
But
you now own every bad play he makes with the Steelers. Have fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to at you random pick 6.
But I will take the plus 300 odds or whatever I've just taken. That at the end of the year I get to have the "I told you so" moment. I will take that chance. I will make the gamble that on January 10th we get to sit here, get to replay some of the audio, and I get to have a good laugh at your guys' expense. There's a chance that happens too.
There's always a chance.
Machu Meech wants you to apologize to me, Arif. Someone else is saving the receipts so they can get me later. Yes, it was a heated party. Heated party.
Oh, also Macho asked what correct temperature to keep a hotel room at, and the answer is 69. Obviously,
Nice.
What? Yeah. Why would it be anything else?
Sam going for fumble recoveries after dropping the ball on the Wilson segment. I regret nothing.
Hey, best wishes to Ron Johnson trying to get those admission tickets too, by the way.
That's rough.
That's on the opening day of the fair. You want it to be seamless. I assume he has work, like probably doing a PJ Flex show or something. So that's a tough one. Best of luck to Ron. Luke Braun, Luke Inman, Reef Hassan. I'm Sam Ekstrom. We do this every Monday and Thursday. Thanks to the everydayers who tune into all of our content here at Locked On Sports Minnesota. Speaking of Ron, he had Dwayne Clemens on Tuesday. Unbelievable interview.
Nice.
Like if you want good 98 stories that range from Moss's impact, John Randall getting a guy to literally quit football, why they lost the Tampa Bay game, and hating Gary Anderson. All of the above addressed in the Dwayne Clemens interview on Tuesday.
Juicy.
Outstanding. Wow, that's fantastic.
If you're a Vikings fan, go watch it. And if you're a Vikings fan, thank you for watching and listening to this show as well. Locked On Vikings audio feed or Locked On Sports Minnesota. We will talk to you on